I am, be floss to God. Grand rising, all kings and queens, all gods and goddesses, all beautiful people. No, today I'm going to be talking about persisting in your assumption until it hardens into fact. Alright, persisting in your assumption until it hardens into fact. Alright, no, this was part of Neville, one of Neville Goddard's quotes, where he would have said, "Any assumption, though false, if persisted in, will harden into fact." All right? No. Once you've set your intention, right? Sometimes what may happen is that you might have a situation, you might come across a situation where it may look as though your manifestation is materializing, right? It may look as though your manifestation is materializing. But then for some reason it turns out that it was not your manifestation, right? It was not your manifestation completely, right? And when this happens, sometimes it can be very discouraging, you know. And a lot of people, when stuff like that happens, they tend to give up, and then they will say, the tools are not working, or whatever it is that they do is not working, or they might question themselves and wonder what it is that they did wrong. And there's nothing wrong with that because I've been there too, like questioning myself, like, did they do something wrong, right? But as I say, like sometimes I see these things as testers, right? As a test, and when stuff like that happens, you don't stop or you don't give up because what happened there, right, which may appear to be the manifestation, but then no, it appears as though is something has gone wrong. That is part of your bridge of incidents. The bridge of incidents is what happens in the middle before you get to the end, before you get to your actual manifestation, right? So you don't stop there. You don't stop until it hardens into fact. Until whatever it is that you envision, whatever it is you wrote about, you spoke about, affirmed, comes completely into the 3D reality. Not halfway, right? It has to be completely what it is that you envision. So just keep persisting in it, right? And persisting in it is just keeping your mind fixed on that intention, right? So, and I mean, like, it's not like every day that you're going to be feeling to do affirmations or scripting or envisioning, But if you can just keep your most dominant state in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that's perfect because that is actually persisting in the wish fulfilled. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to continuously do the acts, like every single day, right? But the reason why I say to do the acts every single day because it will help to keep you into the state of the wish fulfilled, right? Because from time to time, when it comes to certain the bigger goals, we tend to waver a lot, right? And those negative emotions sometimes tend to arise a lot surrounding the intentions, right? So that's why, like, I stress on using the tools, like daily, just to keep yourself into that state of the wish fulfilled, right? But there's sometimes 1 or 2 days, you might not feel to script or anything like that, right? But if you can manage to keep your composure and keep yourself into the state of the wish fulfilled, well then all you could do is just give thanks to the Father that is already done, because giving thanks is a great way to keep yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled as well, right? Or let's say a day comes where your day might be hectic, you might have a lot to do, right? And you may not be able to, like, do your scripting and affirmations or whatever. You can just take time, just a couple minutes, and say, "I thank you, Father. I thank you. I thank you. I already have all of my heart's desires. Something that implying that you already have what it is you have, and just basically just give thanks. I thank you, Father. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And you can go about your way, and just do what you got to do, right? But for the most part, persist until it hardens into fact, right? Not halfway, until it is completely manifested. Okay, so if anything shows up that seems to be the opposite of what it is of the intention that you set, right? Or it's not completely that, do not give up. Keep your mind fixed on it. right? Just keep your mind fixed on it. Even if it happens and you get a bit discouraged, and in the back of your mind, you want to give up, right? But you tell yourself now, and you continue to persist in it. You know what I mean? It will still come about, right? It will still come about because your most dominant state and thoughts and feelings, right, is positivity towards the intention, right? Even if you waver a little, there's nothing wrong with it. The point is, the main key is not to stop, right? Is to keep your mind fixed on that intention until it hardens into fact. Now, Neville Goddard shared the story in one of his lectures and also one of his books too. I think the book was Walk by Fear, if I could be wrong. Anyhow, he shared the story about his brother, right, who became successful with his business, right? But before he became successful with this business, he was as poor as a church mouse. He had no money, right? But every day he would pass this particular building, right, with their name on a sign, right? The people who own that building, like he would pass and see the name of the building, of the company, right, on a sign on the outside, right? And every time he passed that building with that sign, instead of seeing the name that he is actually seeing there of the company, he would see his own name on the sign, right? So every day he passed it, he would see his own name instead of the name of the company on the sign. And he did this every single day. So that was like a part of him, like, that was him like imagining that the company was his, that he owned, that was his own company, right? He saw his name on the sign every single day, right? He would do that. And well, according to Neville, he never wavered. But he probably had, just one or two times where he wavered just a little. You know what I mean? But the point is, the key and the point is that he persisted in it, right? And he did that for a year. Some people, when they reach like a month or two, they get tired and they want to give up. He did that for a whole year. And guess what? After that year, when he did that, I remember I told you he was broke. He had no money at all. But he just kept the vision, because whatever you can see in your imagination, whatever you speak with conviction or write, knowing that it is already done. The infinite intelligence has means and ways that we know not of on this level, because we are the infinite intelligence. But on this level, we don't know the means and ways, perfectly for something to come about, right? Like maybe set the intentions. So just leave that up to the infinite intelligence. We just set the intention and leave it up to the infinite intelligence, right? And the infinite intelligence, in his case, right, all he did was envision it. And what happened was, I think a guy who became fond of him, and just loved his attitude or whatever the case might be. I don't know how he met this guy or whatever, but I think the guy ended up giving him the money, right, that he would need, right, in order to start this business. Right? Long story short, that's basically it. So when you get a chance, I guess you could look up that story, right? I can't remember the exact lecture, right? But the guy ended up, giving him a sum of money, that he could actually start the business. And then from there, he became like a multi-millionaire, because Neville Goddard's his family, they became rich by using the law. But Neville Goddard, his main concern was just like, just spreading the word. He wasn't really about the riches or anything like that. But he wouldn't judge nobody or anything. He would say, each to his own. And he would also tell us, not to put a limit. Not to put a limit on anything. We can have whatever it is that we want and whatever it is that we desire. It does not matter what it is. Right? And a big salute and shout outs to his teacher, Mr. Abdullah, the Ethiopian rabbi, right? For showing Neville Goddard the law, right? And Neville Goddard even said that changed his life completely, and for the better. because at one point, you know, he was like a strict vegetarian, you know. He wasn't drinking or smoking or anything like that. He was looking at life from that perspective, right? And he said that Abdullah told him when he would have come back from Barbados, when he had manifested, when he wanted to go to Barbados, right? When he had manifested it, right? And it actually came about. When he was so excited that he shared the news with Abdullah, right? Who taught him the law and how to use it to get to Barbados because he had no money, right? Abdullah told him that when he came back from Barbados, when he would have come back from Barbados, that he would have died, right? And when he said that he would have died, he doesn't mean physically die, but he would have died to that old state, you know, that believing that he had to be a strict vegetarian and all of that, right? And that he didn't, you know, and that he didn't have to smoke or drink or anything like that. But Abdullah was basically just showing him, you know, whether you do any of these things or not, there's only one way to the Most High, and that's through the imagination, you know, your spirit, Jesus Christ, you know, your higher self, because the Father and the Son are one, whichever you want to call it, right? So whatever you write with intentions, and you feel it, you believe it, whatever you affirm, you feel it, you believe it, you become convinced. Whatever you see, you feel it and you believe it and you're convinced, and you walk into that state of the wish fulfilled, right? No power on earth can stop it. All right? So persist until it hardens into fat, right? Persist until it hardens into fat. Even if you waver a little bit, it's okay, but never give up. That's the main key. All right? So with all that being said, I am Be Floss to God. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Feel free to click the notification bell as well, right? And you can feel free to share my videos as well, you know, comment, like, dislike. If you don't like it, you can dislike. You know what I mean? And keep it real. It's your choice, right? But I just wanted to share this brief video with you today. Persist until it hardens into fat. All right? Peace and love. Have a blessed day.